Hello everybody. This is Monty with Flowers by the Bunch. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here this cold, wet Thursday afternoon. I am so excited about what we're going to do today. We are going to do a little Valentine arrangement. There we go. I see somebody jumping on. That's wonderful. When you come on, tell me hello. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me where you're from. How's the weather? It's cold here. It's wet and cold and miserable here in Mississippi. Can you see me, Victoria?
Yeah.
Everything looks okay? All right, so today I am going to make a Valentine arrangement. Now, this is not an arrangement that we're going to actually sell here in the store. Now, I absolutely would sell it if it was ordered, but it's not something that we're actually going to use as one of our arrangements for Valentine's Day. But it's going to be a very showy, very pretty arrangement that can be used for a banquet or a party or whatever. It's just going to be a pretty heart arrangement. So I'm starting with, this is just a ceramic type container. It's painted silver, but it's a really pretty little urn container. And then I've got a block of Oasis. Now what I did with this block of Oasis is I took a knife and I kind of cut down the edges so that it would fit right down into my container. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take waterproof tape and I am going to tape this Oasis into this container just so it doesn't come out. So I'm just going to, and I'm actually not going to tape it right in the center of the container, and the reason is because I'm going to use some branches and I needed them to go kind of in the center of my Oasis. So when I taped it back towards the back, and that's just to hold it in place. So I'm going to start out with covering my foam with sheet moss. Now, sheet moss is messy, but it's pretty. It's a green moss, and it's really dirty, but it's a pretty green moss. Now, let me tell you a little trick about sheet moss. Is as it ages, the green color fades. So it's not pretty anymore. You know, it just fades and it's just not beautiful. So what you can do is you can take a spray bottle of water and add green food coloring to that spray bottle. Spray it onto this moss and it is going to bring back its green color. So there's a little trick on using sheet moss. Sometimes you'll get a pretty container that it kind of has a little metal mesh and it needs something to fill in. And a lot of times we'll use sheet moss for that. And when we do that, as it ages, and you can see this is not a really pretty green. And all I have to do is just take a water bottle and put a little green food coloring in there and spritz it, and it'll liven it back up. It'll color it green again.
Kathy just says hello.
Hello, Miss Kathy. Hello there. I hope you're doing good today. Okay, I'm going to tuck that back into my drawer and clean up just a little bit because it is so messy. When working with sheet moss, you're going to want to work in a space that you don't mind having to clean it up, or you can work outside, and that way you can just kind of sweep it off the patio into the dirt. But it is messy. So here's how we're going to make our heart. So the other day I did that video making an arrangement for a sympathy piece, and I used myrtle. This is the myrtle, and it's just a branch. It's just a branch from myrtle. I think it's more of a shrub. I'm not exactly sure. I don't know that I've ever seen myrtle growing, but it's just a long branch and I love them. It smells good. It has a good smell. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this branch and I'm pushing it right into my Oasis. So it's sticking out. See how far it's sticking out? I'm going to do that on both sides with both branches, and I'm leaving it real long, but I'll show you why. And so it's sticking out on both sides. I'm going to take it and I am going to make it look just like a heart. So I'm going to take it here. Victoria hasn't seen this trick, have you, Victoria? No. So it's a surprise for her. This is just it is a very light gauged wire. So I'm going to take both both tips of those branches, and I am going to wire them together with this little light gauged wire, okay? And it doesn't take a whole lot. They're not real stiff. But I do want them to stay together. Okay, so if I let it go, oh, it does work. It's not. Okay, so I am going to take this wire because I want it to really look like a heart. So does that look like a heart in the video? I'm going to take just a little wire pick or a wood pick, and I'm taking the little piece of wire that I wired it together, and I am going to tuck it just right down. Oh! See, so it's trial and error, however you say that word.
Miss Cindy Holmes said this earlier. She said that's a good tip. From I think when you were talking about the
moss, spraying that moss. Isn't that a neat tip? It really works, and it's always nice to. I love to hear different tips and different ideas because I like to learn new things every day. Okay, so there we go. So it looks like a heart. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is now I'm going to put in my flowers. Now I covered it with this moss, and the reason I covered my Oasis with the moss is because I didn't want to have to use tons and tons of greenery. So what I'm going to do next is I am going to start out with some flowers. I have some white hydrangeas. So I'm going to start out covering this base right here with a couple of white hydrangeas. I'm pulling all my foliage off. I'm cutting it short, and I am just going to tuck it really deeply into that Oasis. Okay? And then I'm going to take the next one. And all this is really doing for me is just giving us a little bit of a base to this arrangement. Okay, so there's my little white hydrangeas. And then next I'm going to come in, I've got some pretty pink snapdragons. So I thought because we're doing a heart, we're going to do Valentine colors. So these are pretty pink, baby girl pink snapdragons. Now, my thoughts were, I'm going to do some lines here and then maybe a little bit of a dip here. So I'm going to take my snap, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to give us just a little height here. Now, I don't want to cover up this heart. It's important that you can tell that this is a heart, okay? Because I want it to look like a heart. And if I get too carried away with the flowers, you're not going to be able to tell that this is a heart. So I'm taking these snapdragons. And it's a little, when you get to using moss, you kind of have to work just a little bit to get that stem to go through that moss. So I'm just kind of working that stem and tucking it right down into that moss. Okay, so you can kind of see, I don't know, I'm going to zoom out just a little bit on this video so that you can see me a little better. I've got it a little close. Okay. I just want it to be, you to be able to kind of see what I'm doing. There we go. So you can see how I've got a couple snaps over here and a couple snaps here. I've got one more snap. And these are snapdragons. It's just a lined flower. Snapdragons come in lots of colors, lots of pretty colors. They come in this baby girl pink, a light pink. They come in white. They come in yellows. They come in a talisman that's really pretty, kind of an orangey color that's really, really pretty. What else? What other colors, Victoria? No reds. An apple blossom that's kind of a pink and white color. But snapdragons are just really pretty. They're a little more fragile than some of the other line flowers, but they're just really pretty flowers. Okay, next I've got some white stock. You know, stock is some of my favorite, and it just smells so pretty. And I thought this white is a really pretty for Valentine's Day. So I'm going to take a little bit of stock, and I'm going to tuck some back here to give us just a little bit of color towards the back. And if there are ever any blooms that don't look pretty on the very bottom, I just pop those right off. If there's ever a bloom or a petal, I just pull it right off. It is not hurting the flower.
Miss Cheryl Guyton says hi.
Hello, Miss Cheryl. I'm working on our project.
And Miss Deborah, here, let's see. Miss Deborah Ellington. Oh, Miss Janice Langford says hello.
Yes.
Miss Janice.
Hey, Miss Janice.
Miss Deborah Ellington asked if you could hook the other branch to even out the heart.
So it's kind of leaning? Does that make you feel better? Is that better?
I think it looks a little bit more even
And
that
I
way.
think. And so what I'm going to do is some of these, their hair is a little wild. So what I'm going to do is just kind of twist. Is that looking better in the video?
Yeah, it looks more even.
Okay.
A little bit more even that way.
So what I'm going to do is just take another.
And Miss Deborah says yes.
That's better.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Cheryl Guyton says thank you.
You're welcome, friend. I will let you know when I get our project done. So what I'm doing here is you can see how its little leaves were a little wild. So I'm just taking them and kind of wrapping them right around that branch so that it's more of a heart. Does that look better?
Yes, I think it looks a little bit more.
A little bit more even. All right, so I'm going to tuck a few of these stems of stalk. And like I said, you just kind of have to carefully work into that moss. If you push too hard, you can break that stem. Those stems are a little tender, so don't push too hard. And if you need to, you can always take like a knife or your scissors and kind of poke a hole down into that moss. Okay, so I think you can kind of tell that it's a heart. There we go, if I stand. Okay, so next what I'm going to do is I have these pretty red roses. And I just thought, I know on a regular day, red and pink are probably not the most beautiful colors together, but for Valentine's Day, you have to have red and pink, don't you? And so I've got these are heart roses, and they're just a high petal count. Now what I'm going to do, this is not what I do for when we deliver roses to people, because it's important that they stay healthy and they stay strong and you're going to last longer. But I'm going to blow these roses. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking my finger and I am just sticking it right down into those petals, and I'm just working it all the way around. I'm loosening those petals because I want this rose to blow for us. So I'm just running my finger right down into that rose. So you can see how I opened it up. It's not quite as tight as it was before. Take my knife, and I'm going to tuck these roses kind of right down into the center. And I didn't get it quite short enough.
Hi, Miss Janice. She's so cute.
Is she speaking to you, Victoria? So let me tell you that we are getting ready for the biggest florist holiday of the year. And when I tell you it's the biggest holiday of the year, like, how do you even describe it, Victoria? Is there even a word to describe the biggest holiday of the year? Gosh, I don't even know how to tell you how crazy it is. We are preparing to have 400 plus orders for the holiday. And on a regular day, we might deliver 20, 25 arrangements on a regular day. And on Valentine's Day, we will deliver 400 plus arrangements. So that's the difference in this holiday versus a regular day. And so it's a little nerve-wracking, isn't it, Victoria?
Yeah.
It's a little crazy. So what I'm doing with these red roses is I'm just kind of tucking them deep. I'm just tucking them in there as a focal. And I love that red because that red really says Valentine's Day to me. And so I'm just taking these roses and I'm sticking my finger right in there and I'm just working those petals. And I'm just making it a more open cut rose. And I'm cutting them short and putting them right down into that arrangement. Okay, so there's our red roses. So next I have some pretty pink lilies.
Lisa Thompson says that she used to deliver on Valentine's Day.
Oh, really? So you know what we're talking about, Lisa. It can be crazy. I am going to say I am very thankful that I have Jason to take care of the deliveries, because if we had to take care of those two, it would be, I don't know what I would do. I would be so sad. I've actually never had to take care of the delivering part. I've always been in the store. So I've never even, I'm really not honestly sure exactly how all the delivering takes place. What we normally do for Valentine's Day is we work out of, in the years past, we've always worked out of the church. We work out of the fellowship hall in the church, which has been wonderful. Well, this year we're able to work kind of out of a warehouse. And so we will set up, and I'll do a live so you can see all of the logistics of it. We will actually get started with greening all our flower arrangements out. It'll start next weekend. So we will start making our arrangements on Saturday and Sunday, and they'll all be filled and ready for Monday's delivery. So yeah, it's just crazy, but I will take videos so you'll be able to see how all of that goes into place. So I'm just taking these lilies. I'm going to turn this arrangement around so I can see kind of where I am and see what we need. All right, I've got some tulips. I've got some red tulips. I don't think we need this next lily. I think it's going to be too big, so I'm tucking it back over here in my bucket of water. So I have some red tulips, and they've got yellow centers. So they kind of, from here, they kind of look orange, I think. But it really has a red with a little bit of a yellow, and that yellow just gives you some happiness. So I'm going to tuck these tulips in to give us just a little bit of a whimsy.
Miss Lisa says Valentine's is very crazy, but she likes to see the smiles on people's faces and she misses it.
I will say that is fun. When I have delivered flowers, it really is fun to see people smile. That for sure is a fun part about it.
Miss Kathy Chase says that she had a flower shop many years ago, and it's a crazy, crazy day.
Yeah, tell me what you're doing now, Miss Kathy. What are you doing now that you don't have to do Valentine's Day? Do you celebrate the holiday? I know most of the time, most florists do not celebrate the holiday at home. My children know it's crazy, and I just let them figure out what they're going to eat. Actually, our children now are up here and working with us most of the time. So I'm going to turn it around because I'm having a hard time getting this tulip in. And I'm going to break its stem if I don't get it past that moss.
Miss Kathy says she is retired and loving every second
and
of
loving
it.
every second of it. You are not working this hard, are you, Miss Kathy? Yeah, I tell you, you start having nightmares early January, worried about, is this going to happen? Is this going to go right? Is this going to go right? All right, so there's our arrangement. Look how pretty that is. I mean, it's so whimsical and pretty. So next what I'm going to do is just to give us a little bit of finishing touch, I am going to take, this is Silver Dollar Eucalyptus. So I'm going to take a little bit of Silver Dollar Euc, and I'm just going to kind of tuck it back here in the back.
Miss Gloria Turner Brooks says it's beautiful, and Miss Lisa Thompson says that's gorgeous, and Miss Janice Chester says that is beautiful.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much. Isn't it a pretty arrangement? It's just neat. You know, it's something that's a little different. And like I said, this will not be something we will deliver here at the shop. We would take an order for this on a special occasion, but it's just not something that would be very easy for us to deliver out of the shop, just strictly because you have so many orders going out. We try to do arrangements that are a little more compact and arrangements that are not going to get damaged in delivery. We do use a few lilies, but not too many, just strictly because lilies are very fragile, and I do not want someone to receive an arrangement that is going to be hurt. You know, I mean, those petals bump real easily, and if someone received an arrangement that didn't have pretty petals, it would hurt my feelings. And so we always try to use hardier flowers that are not going to get damaged in transport. Now, on a regular day, on a regular, not a holiday, we would do something like this for sure if you were interested. And certainly for any kind of anything else, we could certainly do something this style.
Miss Linda Green loves it. Miss Kathy Chase says it's breathtaking. Miss Mary
Aww.
Livingston says it's beautiful. And Miss Martha Jaggers from Tupelo says it's just beautiful and unusual. You are so kind to share your knowledge with everyone.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so thankful that you're all here watching. I'm just glad that somebody's interested in listening to me talk. Thank y'all so much for watching. We sure appreciate it. I tell you, it has been these last 2 weeks have been really nice having Victoria helping read all the comments so I could talk to you. It's been so much better than me trying to squint and see what you're saying. So next, all I'm going to do is I'm just adding a little bit of filler flower, and this is Caspia. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Caspia. Caspia comes in several different colors. It's just a really, really light feathery, I guess, type of filler flower. Now, we have to prep Caspia a little differently than we do any of the other flowers or any of the other fillers. Caspia comes in with not such a wonderful fragrance. And so in order to prep Caspia and have it smelling nice, we will take it and process it, cutting it and putting it in fresh water, but we will take a little bit of Dawn dishwashing liquid and put it in the water with the Caspia. And what that will do is just take that smell right out. Now why, I'm not exactly sure. It does not hurt the filler flower at all, but it does remove any of the bad odor that it might have. But I just like that it's a little feathery. I like that it's a pretty little soft filler. And it goes a long way. You get a lot for your money, I think, with Caspia.
Miss Lisa Thompson says she's never seen one like this. And Miss Gigi Dinkins asks, what is the greenery forming the heart?
The greenery forming the heart is called myrtle. It's a branch of myrtle. And I like to use it. We get it in a lot for holidays and for big party work because it gives us a really good line flower of greenery. You know, a real good, strong line in the arrangement for greenery. I actually was looking on Pinterest this morning when I woke up. I was thinking, okay, I want to do something kind of Valentine, and I found a similar arrangement on Pinterest. Now, the line flower that they used a lot of blooming branches that were real pliable and would do the heart, which I thought was lovely, but right now we don't have any blooming branches here. And so they also used bells of Ireland, where the bells of Ireland already have their turn. You know, they kind of have that little bend. And so they just stuck the bells of Ireland in and did the turn, which was really pretty. And I thought, well, we just got this pretty myrtle in. Let's use this myrtle. And so Callie and I, before the live, were in the back and we practiced to make sure that it would do its heart. But there we go. That's our arrangement. I really like it. I think it turned out so pretty. I'm one of those that I always like to go and see what other people are doing. Pinterest is a wonderful way to get pretty ideas and interesting ideas to do arrangements with, but I think this turned out really pretty. I think it would be beautiful even on a Sunday morning. You know, a church, I think this would be a really pretty altar arrangement for Sunday morning. Guys, thank you for being here this afternoon and spending time with Victoria and I and talking to us and asking questions about flowers. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like our video, give us a thumbs up, and if you want to share it with your friends, we'd love that too. Hope y'all have a great day, and you'll see us real soon. Thanks.